Welcome back to the Triple XP Arcade, the podcast where nerd culture levels up. We're here to press X on all things nerdy, so grab a token, press start, and let's rack up some
Triple XP!
Today in the arcade, as always, we have myself, Drew.
Hey everyone, you have Lex logged in.
What's up? It's Gigs.
All right, it is Friday the 13th today, but Valentine's Day is tomorrow.
Creepy. I had no idea. That didn't even occur to me.
That didn't even click in my mind.
We had two options to go here for theme. Do we want to keep it a Friday the 13th theme, or do we want to do a Valentine's Day theme? But I'm sure we're going to hit another Friday the 13th some other day this year. But there's only one Valentine's Day in 2026.
Well, technically, we would have a Friday the 13th in March because there's 28 days in February, so the first would still start on the same day. So theoretically, March.
Oh,
yeah, we should.
Well, there you go. So we'll pin that for a March episode for something Friday the 13th related. But for Valentine's Day, I thought it would be a good idea to keep it kind of gaming themed, but we wanted to talk two different perspectives here for our listeners who have a significant other, maybe a significant other who games or doesn't game. But if you have a partner this Valentine's Day, we wanted to throw out some thoughts on some games that are really good co-op games or pair games or games to play with you and your significant other this weekend that are just really, really well enjoyed when there's two people playing. And then on the other side of the coin, we want to look at games that are really, really good for solo plays only. These are mostly like non-multiplayer games, but games that you can just enjoy completely by yourself. Maybe you've opted to not have a Valentine or Valentine's Day plans this year, which is totally a-okay too. You got to carve out that gaming time for yourself once in a while, right? Especially when, like we talked about last week, when you get real busy with work. Sometimes Valentine's Day is the only day you get to game for yourself. So we want to give you both perspectives, and hopefully from some of these games that we're going to throw out there, whether you're with someone or not this year, hopefully you can find a game that you can enjoy this weekend. Let's start with games that are good to play as couples. I think there's a lot of good solo kinds of games, but in my opinion, there's only a small handful of games that I actually enjoy playing with like one other person only. That's not like a multiplayer game or an online game. So let's start with couples games, as we'll call them for this particular section.
Nice.
Lex, what kind of games do you like to play as a couple, like with your wife? What games do you like to play together?
I think it generally varies. Like we're both gamers, so the option is much more wide cast for us. Even if the game isn't co-op, sometimes we'd actually pick up this exact same game and play side by side. But if I'm looking for couch co-op specifically, I think one of our more favorite ones was actually Luigi's Mansion 3. That was on the Switch.
Oh!
Yeah.
I forgot that that's a co-op game.
Yeah,
totally.
And that's like, I can't even think of another game where the full entire story is like a dedicated co-op game, because a lot of the times when you do co-op they kind of like nerf a little bit of the actual gameplay, but Luigi's Mansion 3 was like straight up like a pure co-op game, and Guigi, the other character, can do like the exact same stuff and a little different stuff than Luigi, but it's like flawless. There's no like nerf to either of them.
Guigi is the best name.
Also, I think Guigi is, he's like immortal, right? Like, you can get infinite revives as Guigi, if I remember correctly.
Actually, it's been a while since we played it, but that does make sense. He's just goo.
He's goo.
He's just goo.
Yeah.
You have to hit a certain point, though, in the game where you get access to Guigi. So you're playing for
I think maybe like an hour tops. It's not long.
Yeah, it's not too long.
Yeah.
And then, Lex, maybe for the listeners, we've said Guigi a couple times, and they're like, what? Maybe just explain the concept of what Guigi is and how it makes it a co-op game.
Ooh, okay. It's been a minute. So Guigi is basically like a clone of Luigi. in the game itself, you play as Luigi in a mansion setting where you're basically just hunting ghosts. Not hunt, like the story itself is a little different, but essentially you'd be just going around the mansion taking care of ghosts within the mansion itself. And at one point you actually get like a clone Luigi. His name is Gooigi, and he's a pure green. He looks like Jello or like Flutter if you guys watch that Robin Williams movie. But essentially he acts just like Luigi. You can do a lot of the same skill sets with him, but there's like times where you actually have to like go through grates or something like that, or in like little battles with the enemies, sometimes you have to do like a double pull, or you have to pull them apart, and that's where Gooigi kind of comes into play itself there. So it's a lot of fun, and it's not overly difficult. Like once you get the control scheme a little bit more on hand, the Gooigi character is a lot more intuitive, and then it's easier for the non-gamer to pick up that character a lot more than Luigi himself.
And then I remember, to Giggs' point, I think if you take too much damage as Gooigi or whatever, there's no penalty to that, because you can just keep making a new one, which is really nice, because if you have a non-gamer partner, you want to give them the the one that has infinite lives, basically.
Yes.
Yes, that is how my wife and I beat that game. Is I had to take Luigi, and she had to be Gooigi for the last boss.
yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, so this is the other thing, because I totally agree with you, Lex. This Luigi's Mansion 3 was so fun to play as a couple, and I remember I played it with my wife because she needed me to be Gooigi for like the last few bosses, I think. Because it was just like really hard. Like, do you think that you can beat it just one player, like solo?
No, I can't even handle Mirage in Apex. I mean, this is like Mirage on steroids. This is next level.
What about you, Giggs? Do you think that you could have beat that just by yourself?
Should I answer honestly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably could have.
Yeah? Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair. Because I'm just curious from both of your perspectives, because I wasn't playing the game, and I was watching my wife play, and I saw the last boss that she was like fighting against, and I was thinking, I don't understand how you're supposed to do this by yourself. Like, this seems like it requires a two-player, like two separate people controlling things at different times. Otherwise, you're kind of juggling that by yourself. But
it's definitely hard, like, regardless. Because I think we're all talking about that one level. It's like Gooigi has to go underneath, and then Luigi is on top, and there's like spinning lasers and stuff. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is actually, really tough by yourself. But I think there are ways to do it. You just have to be very Luigi focused, and then when you have a moment, go jam Gooigi somewhere.
Okay. Well, that's the part where, like I said, I got recruited into play, but it was really fun. I kind of was thinking, oh gosh, I should have jumped in way sooner, because
actually I thought the same thing. I had a lot of fun on the last boss with my wife, and I was like, oh, I didn't know it was that fun. So I wish I did it sooner.
Oh, yeah, that one was a lot of fun. Like, they don't really market it that well. That's like it's an amazing co-op game. The marketing is just like, oh, you have like a variant of Luigi versus, like, this is a full-on story co-op where you can play from almost near beginning to end of it, which is very rare in games nowadays, especially.
Yeah. While we're on the Nintendo topic, I'm going to throw in one, because it actually wasn't on my mind, but now that you've mentioned Luigi's Mansion, this one I think is kind of in the same category. Mario Odyssey was... Definitely. Yeah. In my head, I kind of thought that was like a solo player game. So this one actually could apply for both sides of the coin here, either solo play or co-op. But this one, again, my wife was playing pretty intensely, and I got recruited in to help with the final boss. Yeah, as Cappy. Because, I tried doing... I can't remember the boss specifically. I remember it was on a moon level, and she had to climb like a big tower, and she got to the top, and then she's fighting all of the rabbit bosses one after another, and you only have, I don't know, however many hits that you have at that time, but you don't get more hearts, you don't get more lives, you just have to beat all of the bosses back to back to back in one go, and it ends with like a mech or something. Do you know what I'm talking about, guys?
I think you're making this up.
Yeah,
I'm
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm honestly going to go ahead and say you might be talking about post-game content.
Yes, yeah. This is post game.
Okay, gotcha.
Sorry,
Not
this
end
is
game.
yeah. This is in the 100, like aim for the 100% completion type of thing. Okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, so she had already beat the game. This is where I got recruited in. I tried doing this boss run myself, and I was like, this is really, really difficult, mechanically even. So I got brought in as Cappy. And again, same thing as Luigi's Mansion 3. I was thinking, oh, this actually could have been pretty fun to play throughout the game together. And, kind of conceptually, I thought it was not going to be as fun because you're playing as Mario's hat. That feels like the thing that you would do when you're kids and your little siblings like, I want to play, and you're like, yeah, here's a controller, and it's not plugged in.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought like Cappy
you control the duck.
was there. Yeah, for Duck Hunt, right? Which is a legit thing, though. If anyone doesn't know, the second player controller can control the ducks.
Yeah.
That's not. That's a real thing. But yeah, Mario Odyssey. Did you guys play that with your wives at all? Co-op?
For me, I actually didn't meet my partner when that game came out, so I soloed that one. So that was actually on my list of great single player games.
Yeah. We never played it together. No. Again, that was like, not really. I didn't even get that far into Odyssey.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I definitely didn't play it as much as either of you guys or your wives have. So.
I think, Drew, your wife has gotten the furthest out of all of us, because I actually stopped after I beat the game. The post-game got way too difficult.
It is. It has been. But yeah, she played that pretty intensely for, not when it came out. I think it was like well after it came out, but my wife didn't grow up with Mario 64 or Mario Galaxy or those kinds of games. So when this one came out, she got really, really into it. And then I started suggesting some of the other ones from historical ones, like Mario Sunshine and Mario 64 and stuff. But she really, really likes Odyssey. So nice. I think that was a good intro to the Mario world of games, though, as like one of the first mainline entries, right?
That's a perfect intro for the Mario series. That's a very well refined game.
Yeah,
agreed.
I was kind of thinking that they would have like a sequel for the Switch too, but I guess Donkey Kong Bonanza is the same people, the same devs as Odyssey. Is that right?
Yeah. Oh, one day. Hopefully they make a second Odyssey.
A sequel, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I've gone off track here. We've got Luigi's Mansion 3. We've got Super Mario Odyssey. Gigs, what kind of games do you like to play as a couple?
Okay, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for this, but...
Is it overcooked?
Okay. So first of all, my wife and I don't really play that many games together.
Okay.
It's mostly my fault. She will tell you guys that probably every time we get together, that the reason we don't play games is because of me, and it's true. So I'm going to lean more towards the end of the episode where we're talking about solo games. But
okay.
But I will say one game that we did play together, and I don't know if it's really playing together, but it's more like we're doing it together, is Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker.
Oh.
Yeah. Those like 3D puzzle type games, or just puzzles in general. We do like to play those kind of things together. But Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, which is like an offshoot of Super Mario 3D World, I think, right?
Yeah, there's like side levels of it in that game.
Yeah, it's like those are bonus levels in Super Mario 3D World, but then they made like a whole tangential game of just those like puzzles. And it's really fun to play as a couple because it's usually like you're trying to spot little things, especially if you're trying to like fully complete every stage. There's little things like you have to find the little 8-bit Mario that's like tucked in a corner somewhere. So it's nice to have two eyes, and then the second player can actually it's like this because this was on the Wii U. What's the second one?
Yeah, the Wii U.
The Wii U. Okay. I don't know. For some reason, I was like, the Wii U 2? That doesn't sound right.
Wii U 2, yeah.
But yeah, it was on the Wii.
I don't think Nintendo talks about the Wii U. I think that's why it's hard to remember it.
Exactly. It's like the Virtual Boy. But yeah, since it was on the Wii U, that was when the nunchuck still existed, right? So you can, with the Joy-Con, you can point at the screen and you can have like a cursor for both players, and you can like jab enemies with the stylus, or not the stylus, but the cursor, and it kind of like shocks them so Toad can do his thing safely because there's no attacking. You have to move. There's no jumping. You can only move, right? And so you have to avoid enemies and stuff. So yeah, that's a fun couples game because it's problem solving and it's Toad. It's cute.
Yeah. So out of you and your wife gigs, who was controlling Toad and who was doing the poking of the enemies?
I was the Toad, of course. You guys know my wife. She is not great with two separate joysticks and controlling two things at once.
Is this where you're getting in trouble, Gigs?
No, I think I'm getting in trouble because we're doing a podcast about couples games and we never play games.
You don't have any? Okay.
Well, maybe we have some good records for you, Gigs.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, Lex, throw in a great reco for gigs for tomorrow, for Valentine's Day.
Yoshi's Crafted World.
Oh my gosh, I forgot that was co-op too.
Yeah, that is a very fun co-op game. I like that one more so than the Mario Brother like side scroller games. In my opinion. It's like it's so cute. And it's like there's no rush to it, there's no timer. Like if you get hurt, then your partner can help you. There's actually one stage where it's actually kind of scary. Look, I don't like clowns. I think everyone knows that, but there's one with clowns in it. But the funny part is the stage name is actually called "You Will Be Afraid."
That's cute.
But yeah,
like that.
Yoshi's Crafted World, fantastic co-op game. I think that's actually the very first co-op game me and my wife played. And we 100%ed that one, and it was just an adorable game.
That one is 100%able for sure, and it's so cute that because I actually played that one with my wife too. Yeah, and there's incentive to go back in and play through some levels over again because it's just really, really cute. The sounds that Yoshi makes are so cute. That was so spot on. Yeah, that one's really, really cute. Have you tried it before, either on the Wii U or?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I've played it. Now that is a game that, I would assume is really good as a couple, but that's actually the game that my wife plays with her nephew. So it's like, that's kind of like what they've been playing together. Yeah.
Got cut out.
Okay,
Gigs.
nice.
No, it's for good reason.
Well, I'm going to throw one your way, Gigs. I actually don't know if you've played this already. And I know, Lex, you feel a different way about this, but I think the first game that came to mind when I thought about couples games is It Takes Two. And this one we played for the Switch. Have you played through that one, Gigs?
No, we haven't beaten it together. And again, this is where she's probably going to start like fuming a little bit because I keep postponing us playing it. So we're at I don't know how far in, but we've I guess gone through we've gone through at least 4 or 5 of like the stretches of levels. We beat the Moon Baboon. which is great,
nice.
By the way. And so I think we're a little bit past that point, but we haven't finished it.
Okay. And Lex, you've played a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think we did maybe 2 stages, but we both weren't into it because my wife is huge on like 100%ing and collectibles, but there weren't any collectibles in the game.
Yeah.
But I could care less. I'm a solid D student when it comes to completion of games. 37%, that's an A plus to me.
Let me see those credits no matter how.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know why we weren't into it though. Overall.
No, that's fair. So the developers for It Takes Two are, I think, well known for focusing on games where co-op play is kind of the main crux of the gameplay loop. And It Takes Two is kind of, I think it's maybe not so subtly, but I was going to say it was subtly veiled as like almost like a couples therapy kind of game.
Oh, it's not even thinly veiled. It's like fully on. That's what it's about.
Full on, right? Because so I think the gist of it, it's been a while since we played it, but you play as a husband and wife, and you're going through the game trying to, I guess, like reconnect or rekindle the relationship. So throughout the game, you're thrown into like multiple levels, and there's of course an overarching story, but that's kind of like the crux of the game is you're working together to do things. And the really cool thing about It Takes Two, you have your 2 characters, and unlike games that we've already talked about, like Yoshi's Woolly World. What is it, Lex?
Yoshi's Crafted World.
Yoshi's Crafted. Yeah. Woolly World is for the Wii U, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Yoshi's Crafted World, Luigi's Mansion 3, you're playing the same level. You just have two or the same stage or the same setting, but you just have 2 characters that are being controlled, right? With It Takes Two, you're playing essentially the same setting, but you have to do different things to help each other get through the level. So you're not just necessarily doing a run and waiting for your partner to kind of catch up to you if you're playing Mario or something like that. So an example here, because a lot of people will be like, well, I don't really understand what you're talking about. So an example is there's a part, and I think this is pretty early on, maybe in the first stage or 2, where it's like a platforming section, and your 2 characters are kind of miniaturized. So you're going through like a setting that's, I think, in the kitchen or in a house or something. But then there's a part where one of the characters is in the distance trying to platform across a wall, and the other character is in the foreground, and you have to shoot nails at the wall at kind of the correct spots to help your partner jump and grab onto them as they platform across that particular section. So it's things like that where you're working together to get each other across the stage together. And you can kind of see just from the brief description there, like it's a lot of proper communication and being clear with each other and coordinating who's doing what do we have to do, figuring it all out together. So it was a bit chaotic when my wife and I first started playing, because it was a lot of yelling at each other to be like, no, go no, push that. No, what do you come back over here?
That stage that you spoke of, Drew, that does not sound easy in any way.
It's like, not. No, it's not.
No, I was gonna say. So this game is, in my opinion, it's. We don't, like, my wife and I don't get upset. It's more a game of patience, because
that's right.
Okay, so this is going to be like, I'm sure lots of people have seen, TikToks, Reels, whatever the social media of your choices, of couples playing this game, and the vast majority of them are usually the guy who is the gamer will do a section, and they're just waiting for their partner to finish the same platforming section.
Oh man, I've seen a couple of those videos. Exactly. They're actually really funny.
So that's if people didn't understand, that was It Takes Two, and that's where I mean it's patience, because a lot of times I'm just chilling. I'm chilling, waiting, and I encourage my wife to like really try and like try and get used to the whole movement on one joystick and moving the camera with the other, and multitasking and stuff like that. So I don't get upset or anything, but it is funny from my perspective to just watch her drop into the abyss many times and get so close, and then like she'll do the super grip where her hands clench the controller so hard because she's like, oh, I almost get it, and then it like she goes flying off the mushroom, the bouncy mushroom or something.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It a total test of patience on both sides. And well, like I said, for my wife and I, it started off pretty chaotic, but we got into a nice groove probably midway through the game, and then by the end of it, we were cruising together. We were moving like a well-oiled machine, and it almost made me feel like maybe that was the intention that the developers had. Totally right. The only other thing that I'll say about the game is it's, co-op aside of these mechanics of helping each other get through the stage, it was a really cool concept. The first game that I've played like this, where it incorporates multiple genres of games in this game. Yeah. So I was hesitant to say, because I don't know if that's a spoiler, but I think for some people that actually might be the selling point to have them try it, because you start it up and it's not like the entire game is just platforming like the section I mentioned. There's that platforming section. There's a first-person shooter section. There's a fighting game section. There's a racing section. Like each time you get a new challenge, or I guess they were called levels, but each time you get to a new level, it's an entirely different genre of game that you're playing. So you're really getting a huge variety of game types within the one overarching story, which was really something that my wife and I enjoyed playing too, because if you're committed to playing a game together, you're committed to playing that game. But this one kind of gives you a lot of different mechanical varieties of things that you have to do. So you get a lot of different exposure for someone who doesn't necessarily play a lot of games. So it's kind of like a little mini intro to all of the different genres. And it's really nice because then if your partner was to say, oh, I really liked that particular level where we were racing or something like that. Well, now you have an idea of other kinds of games that your partner might be into, because you're like, oh, okay, if you liked that section, then you might like these games, and then you can kind of expand and grow off of that concept. So I really liked that part of It Takes Two. It was just such a cool concept for me to get thrown into like a true co-op, not just this happens to be two players, but just a true, you need someone else to play this game. You can't do this solo. Like you have to, it's literally called It Takes Two. You need two people to play the game. But then getting the combination and the mixtures of genres was so cool. Such a very cool game. So I know that you both haven't really gotten super, super into it, but I do recommend for our listeners, if you're looking for like a proper, this is a game that I play with my partner or significant other, It Takes Two has a really nice story and gameplay. So that would be my number one Valentine's Day pick from my side.
Have you played the other one that's similar to It Takes Two? It's called Split Fiction. I heard that one was really good too.
Mm-hmm. I think that just came out recently. No?
Maybe
semi-recently, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've not played it yet, but the concept of that one, do you both know the concept of Split Fiction?
Kind of, sort of.
Not really on my end. I just know it's like a co-op again.
Yeah, it's made by the same developers, right? I believe. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same developers, and I think at a like super, super high level, I believe Split Fiction is done in the same way, Lex, where you have your two separate things, you're working together, but one person is experiencing the entire level in a sci-fi theme or sci-fi setting, and the other person is experiencing it through a fantasy setting. So think of like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings, dragons, like that kind of thing. So you're playing through the same level, doing things to help each other, but you're both seeing an entirely different like theme of the setting.
Okay, that actually sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife and I we have had it flagged on our list to play together for quite some time now, but yeah, we haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, I think in terms of, because it's the same developers, and I'm pretty sure it's praised the same amount as It Takes Two. I think the only like main difference in terms of like the couples part is I don't know if it's like two siblings or two best friends or something, instead of a couple playing the game. In the game.
Yeah.
Because It Takes Two is a husband and a wife, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that might be something that we try, my wife and I, this weekend for Valentine's Day, because that's one that we've been wanting to play together. So
nice.
Yeah, we'll put it atop the list. All right, Lex, hit us with another one of the games that you like to play as a couple.
This one's a little bit more complex for couples in general, but I'm a huge fan of it. It's the Hyrule Warriors games, or even like the Fire Emblem Warriors, like the Warrior games in general.
These are like the Dynasty Warrior style games?
Yeah, it's like the genre's called Muso, I think, something like that. But it's very, very action heavy, button mash heavy, a lot of chaos. It's like the games in general is essentially you control a hero and you're up against like hundreds of kind of other soldiers, and then there's like a little bit stronger soldiers, and you have to take over some bases for each of the missions itself. But it kind of like spans into a larger story itself. So, like the one I just finished, personally, my wife didn't play because it kind of made her motion sick from all the action. Was Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, and that's basically tells you the story of what happens 100 years before Breath of the Wild, Drew's favorite game. Sponsor us, Zelda.
Zelda the princess?
The princess, yeah.
Isn't Zelda the one with the sword and the green hair?
I made that mistake when I was a kid. I don't know if you remember, but there were the gas stations that were giving away Nintendo toys, and I wanted Link, the guy with the sword and the shield, and I had my parents ask for it when they got gas, and they asked for Zelda, and I got a princess, and I was really sad because it was not the guy with the sword that I wanted. It was a princess.
Oof. Dang.
Lesson learned. I made that mistake only once in my life, never again. So it prefaces Breath of the Wild, and it's a co-op game? I always thought that those were single-player games.
No, it's a split-screen co-op. So the reason why my wife had a lot of issues with like the motion sickness is because the original Switch, when it came out, it's not as powerful as like what a PS5 could do, right? So when you're playing split screen on it, a lot of stuff is affected, like the draw distance, the frames per second. I personally have no issues with frames in general. Like I can't tell the difference between 30 and 60. For Hyrule Wars, you can clearly tell the difference of the frame rate for it when you're doing the split screen. When you're doing single player, it's completely fine, but
it's fine.
It's very jarring because the split screen itself, like there's a ton of action happening. So if you're not used to like a lot of motion on the screen, it gets very hectic very quickly.
And are you hitting like Pokemon Scarlet Violet levels of performance dip?
No, that's like PowerPoint levels.
Shade.
Pokemon, yeah, throwing a little shade. I know they fixed it, but when I first played that game, wow, I've made PowerPoints faster.
4 frames per second.
I think it was 1 frame per second. It's like that flip book when you draw on notepads.
Yeah. Flip book?
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
But that one's a little bit more complex, so it's not like I'd recommend it to everyone. If you guys are looking to like a huge kind of like complex gameplay, that's one of the bigger ones, and it has like a pretty in-depth story. Or if you're just looking for like a friend to kind of like jam with you for a co-op game, this one's a great one. I know Giggs and I did the Fire Emblem Warriors version of it, and that was a lot of fun.
Super fun.
And would you say that you would need to have a decent amount of mechanical dexterity or familiarity with the controller to be able like for listeners who like don't have a partner who plays games?
Or actually, yeah, like you have to control both joysticks, so there's that kind of like camera control and person control, but in terms of the button, it's very button mashy. Like you can press X 12 times and you'll do the combo. But the camera control is complex.
Okay, it's kind of like an intermediate-ish level.
Yeah, I would say
game
so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Nice. Okay. I like I said, I didn't know that those ones are co-op ones, but yeah, those ones are I've seen that are just drop in, and if you just want to hit stuff. Okay, I'm going to go on a little detour here, but that's what I wanted Breath of the Wild to be like. Okay. Wait. When you're playing Hyrule Warriors, who are you playing as?
Who am I playing as? My favorite character was Sheik. So you can play
you
like
can select a character.
Yeah. You can play as Link, Zelda, Sheik. You can play as one of the 4 champions. You can play as the giant Hestu, the big Korok. So there's a ton of different characters. Yeah.
So if you're playing as Link, what weapon is he using?
You have to pick up different weapons because it breaks every 3 hits. So
does it actually?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, God, so good.
Gotcha.
Okay. So what you're telling me is that he's using a sword, I'm assuming, and you're just like mowing down hundreds and hundreds of enemies.
Yeah.
With your main weapon.
Yeah, and you can change the swords too. Like you can choose to have like a sword and shield, or a 2-handed sword, or a spear for Link in general, and they don't break, Drew. Like this is full on. You have that weapon beginning and end for the full 20 minutes of the level.
See, this makes me more angry about Breath of the Wild. You just told me that this game is 100 years before Breath of the Wild happens, and they had weapons that were durable beginning to end. And then, 100 years later, 100 years of technology and advancements. And now his Master Sword gets tired.
I mean, no. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
Over that 100 years, nothing is happening. In fact, things are degrading over 100 years.
Yeah, that's when the calamity happened. And everything got locked away, and everything, like, Ganon just messed everyone up for 100 years, so... You just had swords laying around, getting all rusty, so that's why they're doing 3-hit combos. And
see, there you go. There's a little reason.
Yeah.
But what about the Master Sword?
The Master Sword needs to rest because it's sealed away the calamity. Mm-hmm. How would you feel, Drew, if you sealed away an entity of amazing strength, power, and evil, and then someone wakes you up, he's like, hey, I gotta use you again. Are you good? You're good, right?
And then just continuously smacks you against a mountainside and stuff because...
So you mean if someone woke me up and demanded that I do the only singular function that I was created to do? I don't know if I would be upset. I'd be like, yeah, that checks out. Oh, you're mad that I'm tired? Yeah, I'm a sword. I shouldn't be doing that.
But 100 years ago, you were young, you were in your prime, you had energy. 100 years later, like, I'm too old. Find another sword.
So he's just too old for this. Is the reasoning for the Master Sword?
They should have called it the Grandmaster Sword.
That's a good one.
Legitimately, that I would not have been upset at that. Honestly, if I was like, okay, I understand. It's an old sword. You got to be delicate with it. If you overuse it, it'll break. If it was framed to me, I'm way beyond the point now. I can't revisit it anymore. But I'll keep that in mind for future Legend of Zelda games, maybe.
Tears of the Kingdom. That's the next one.
No. I saw my wife play that one, and I was like, oh, hell no. This looks like... I thought Breath of the Wild was bad. Tears of the Kingdom looks like my actual nightmare. I could not imagine playing that game even for 10, 15 minutes. Never. Okay. Sorry, I keep bringing us off track here. You just mentioned Breath of the Wild, and it triggered me real hard. Gigs, do you have another co-op game that you want to throw out?
Oh, yeah. Probably the last one for me. My wife and I haven't played it together, but she really likes this game and I really like this game. It's just that we don't own it. You need 2 copies of it, which is the problem. And that is Stardew Valley. So,
I had that one on mine too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a great game. Super fun. If you like doing work after work.
Which we know you do, Gigs. We know you do.
Yeah, dude. I'm in my career for a reason. There's parts of it that I like. I just don't like most of it. Anyways, so in Stardew, we've talked about it before, of course. So it's a farming game. It's their 16-bit graphic era type thing. It is a modern game, and the developer keeps releasing updates, even though it's like 10 something years old at this point. The developers, this is his like labor of love, Rick. So he'll keep this going because people love this game too. So you can play it with someone else, and I think how it works is you would share a farm, if I remember correctly. So it's like or a section of one of the players' farms is like shared. So you can have like your partners can have their own house, and then you tend to the crops or whatever you do. But the issue for me and my wife is that I own it on both the Nintendo Switch as well as my PC, but I don't believe at the time when we were both playing it heavily there was any sort of crossplay, so we couldn't actually play it together. Yeah. And then, of course, with the Nintendo Switch, at the time anyway, you would need 2 copies of the game and 2 Switches, and it was a whole thing. So we never got to play it together, but that is a great game in general, and I think it'd be super fun to play with a partner.
Have they released an update for crossplay since then? I
want to say they have. Now, I can't say for certain because I haven't revisited the game in a while, and neither has my wife. We've both kind of moved on to our next sort of gaming obsessions. Slay the Spire and me with a backlog of other stuff. But yeah, I would want to say that based on its reception and how popular it is, I want to say it's got to be crossplay at this point. But
yeah,
can't say for certain.
I just keep hearing great things about Stardew Valley left, right, and center. Everyone loves this game. My wife and I saw the developer in Japan when we were there a couple of years ago. He was just at an arcade and he was signing autographs or something. So there's like a huge line of people. And I think at that time, my wife wasn't super deep into Stardew Valley. I think maybe she hadn't heard of it when we first were there. And anyway, so there was this huge line. People were lined up literally down the stairs out the door of this arcade. And I was like, oh, this must be someone really famous, I would assume. And this guy came out and he sat down. He was taking pictures and shaking hands and talking to everyone. I had no idea who it was, so I had to ask one of the staff, and they're like, yeah, well, that's the I can't remember his name. I haven't played Stardew Valley, but that sounds terrible. But
does he go? Oh, I guess he would have a real name.
Yeah, he has a real name. Concerned Dave is his dead name. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I would know it if I heard it. But anyways, they were like, yeah, he's a developer for Stardew Valley. And then I was like, holy smokes, there are so many people here, so many Stardew Valley fans there.
Oh, yeah.
And I had flagged it. And that was, I think, when my wife was like, okay, I'm going to try it when we get home. And then she got super hooked into it. So it's on my mind of something that I feel like I should try just because it's been raved about so much. But I'm kind of going in tentative because people said that about Breath of the Wild.
That game probably does gangbusters in Japan. What was that? What is it a spiritual successor to? Harvest Moon, right?
Harvest Moon?
Yeah, so I don't think there's been a good Harvest Moon in a long time. So the fact that Stardew is around as a thing, yeah, I could see Japan getting all over that kind of thing.
My wife absolutely loves that game to the point where she's willing to replay it in its entirety if I were to start my own farm.
Oh, you should do it.
Wow.
It's that good apparently. But also, Stardew Valley is extremely popular. She actually took me to the Stardew Valley Symphony just a couple months ago. And the symphony is actually so popular that they had to add 2 extra days because the other 3 days sold out entirely. And that's very uncommon for a video game concert. Even the Final Fantasy Distant Worlds, they don't sell out. Stardew Valley sold out. Even when we went, it was jam-packed seats. And it's a different crowd, obviously, for this type of game. But they showed one thing on the screen that I could not understand what happened, but everyone was just like muffling and talking about it. And then my wife had to explain to me after that it's something you can never ever do in the game, and the developer did that on purpose to kind of trigger people, because it's like something about like you can speed build something on your farm, and he had like 38 of them or something, and you can only realistically build like 2. So it was like a little nudge to everyone, just as like a joke way there.
Just a specific triggering.
Yeah, it would be like if they did the Breath of the Wild Symphony and they showed none of the swords breaking. You'd be like, oh my god.
Throw my chair at the stage.
Oh, man.
Break this! Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised that they didn't add like an accessibility option for that. You know?
For Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, some people like to play games the way that they like, and a lot of developers now will put in settings for that, so people can customize their game, right?
Yeah, even in Yoshi's Crafted World, there's a, I don't know what the settings are. It's like the casual setting, right, Lex? Where you can press jump and hold the button, and then Yoshi just kind of like floats and hovers, and you can like cruise through. You know, if it's mechanically difficult, if you just want to enjoy the game, play like that. Like, yeah, why not? Why not, Zelda?
Yeah. Oh, too good.
Anyways, God, I'm gonna have such a hard time sleeping tonight. I'm gonna be like waking up in a cold sweat, screaming about Breath of the Wild. Sorry to my wife in advance.
Your spoon and fork are gonna break when you eat now.
Oh my gosh,
that would be so funny. You just disappear as he's taking a bite. Durability damage.
So good.
All right, Lex, what maybe wrap us up here with the couples, and before we dive into some of the solo games, what's kind of your last thought for good couples games?
You know, this is actually a solid transition into single player games, because these are technically single player games, but I find them to be a blast when you're playing with someone else. I'm going to group them together because they're all kind of the same genre, but there's Detroit Become Human, The Quarry, and Until Dawn.
Oh, yeah. Like these, like I want to call them,
like movies. I don't even know.
Choose your own adventure games. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I say that because like they're definitely fun in your own right, and you're like if you're solo play, but it's very fun when you have your partner or a friend with you, and you're kind of going through the story, and then you get to the decision point. Then you ask like, hey, what do you guys want to do? Like, do you want to go left or right? Do you want to do this or that? Do you want to like save this person? Do you want to run away? And it gets very exciting because the story actually changes based on your decisions on it. So you guys are creating an entirely different storyline to what you might have been doing as a solo player, for example. And I think, Drew, you're the one that had recommended The Quarry to me.
Yeah,
we loved that game. It was so fun.
Well, this one was like a really good way to spend time with your partner without having to be mechanically tied to the game, right? Because like you're saying, Lex, it's just one person that's like very, very easy controls. Mm-hmm. You're kind of just like walking around exploring, so you don't need to do a lot of, camera adjustment or fighting or anything like that. But then you get the options to say like, yeah, what do you want to do at this point? And then just on the couch sitting together, you can decide how this movie plays out, which is really fun. And I think it was The Quarry that we were playing, and you have like a limited time, as with most games, but you get posed with the options, and some just have like a limited time, so you have to make a call in like like 10 seconds or less. So the scramble that you're like, oh my god, what do you want to do? And then you ended up just panic picking something. But the thing that I will note is for The Quarry and Until Dawn, those ones are horror themed. So if your partner is like not into scary, or I want to say even sometimes gory, kind of, horror themed types of things, probably not going to be the most enjoyable watch through for your partner. So just come in knowing that those ones are a little bit scarier if you're playing through those. But Lex, you've mentioned Detroit Become Human a couple times. I've never actually played it, but can you kind of walk through, is that decision matrix different than Until Dawn and The Quarry?
It's an extremely complex decision matrix. Like the smallest change changes so many things in general. And this is not a horror game. This is sci-fi, I would consider it. Like the story itself is I think it's about machine rights. You're basically playing as androids and you're either fighting for your freedom or for machine rights, or you're starting like a revolt against the humans. So that's like kind of like the two main plot points. But it's pretty wild because, like, for example, if you choose the very beginning of the game, if you choose not to read this piece of paper, it decreases your chances of saving the character in that chapter. And if you don't do that, then that cascades into like the other 11 chapters for some reason. And the decision matrix is so massive, and it's very cool because at the end of each chapter, if you're playing like on PlayStation Online, for example, you can see what your friends had chosen in their point of time and see where they kind of net out to, but they like block off what it says for the future itself there. So like if I chose not to save this person, I go back online and then I see you and Gigs playing it, and then you both decided to save that person. So it's very awkward to me to be like, oh, I'm kind of villainous in this respect. But yeah, it's a very cool game though.
A lot of judging your friends' decisions after.
Yeah. There was one decision that made me so sad that I actually stopped playing the game. It was at the very end, and I made the decision. I'm like, oh, I don't want to replay this game ever again because it had an effect in your next playthroughs. And I'm like, no, I don't want
really?
it. Yeah, it was so hard.
It ruined the game for you forever.
Yeah, man.
That's terrible.
And you can't go back against it. It's just like, oh, what did I do?
For just from now on, from this point forward, when you boot up the game, your character is now super racist, and you're like, what? How? I can't reset my progress. It's like, nope, just ultra over. Racist.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. So on that game, I think these movie games or whatever have you. I think kind of an alternative to it if you and your partner are into like visual novel type things and puzzle solving stuff. An older game, which I'm not 100% sure if all three are available on like Nintendo Switch or PC or whatever, but there's an old series that was initially released on the DS, and it's the Zero Escape series. So that actually kind of, I would almost recommend that if you guys liked like The Quarry and the Detroit Become Human. So like Zero Escape, which consists of 3 games, which is I think it's 9 hours, 9 persons, and 9 doors, something like that.
Okay.
That was on the DS.
Yeah,
they're like anime style, but the story is incredibly good and really complicated. And kind of what you were saying, Lex, is that the outcome changes, but in the point of Zero Escape is that you actually go back to previous choices and you explore the different branches of time based on what your choices were. And so you kind of like unravel a whole story based on a bunch of different timelines. And it's really, really fascinating from a story perspective. And then the kind of very loose gameplay loop, if there is any, is they're kind of like locked rooms. So you do have to do little puzzle solving bits. Okay. But the story is incredibly good. I know the second game was the one that got me into it, which I think was called Virtue's Last Reward, something like that. But all 3 games tie in together. The third one I think is called Zero Dilemma or Time Dilemma or something like that. But yeah, the whole story is like really, really interesting and fascinating especially if you like that timey-wimey stuff, Drew. Or if you like the visual novel stuff, Lex. It's super good. I loved it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, we gotta dust off some DS systems there, Lex. Eh?
Yeah. At least play the second one. I think that's a good one because I think that came out on either the Vita or the PSP. So that one didn't have the dual screen. So I think that one's released on like the Switch or PC. So that one might be available. Same with the third one, but the third one relies more on the second one than the second one relies on the first one, if that makes any sense. The second one's a very good standalone.
So you can get away without having to play the first one.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Well, I have to find the DS first, but then, yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Cakes, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Solo games.
Oh, so sad. So sad. There's a little bit of a theme to what I'm more leaning towards solo games that you might want to play near Valentine's Day. So there's like relationship type. Not necessarily mechanics, but there's something.
I like it.
Some Leisure Suit Larry in here.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Magna cum laude or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so games that you would play solo that you would like to ideally play around Valentine's Day.
Well, maybe there's something there for you. And
okay.
The first one, I think you guys have all heard of it, and there's 3 of them. Persona 3, 4, 5. Definitely anybody that's into JRPGs. You got your dungeon crawly bit, but like the big thing with Persona games and why people like them so much are the social links, which are the it's like you're a high school student, so you develop relationships with different types of characters, and those characters all have their own stories. So you explore the stories of a lot of NPCs and how they affect certain things. Plus, there's a lot of mystery and evil and fun stuff like that. But overall, the Persona games are obvious. Everybody loves those games, right? So really good if you want to get to know some quote unquote people, aka NPCs.
And you would say that the main draw for the Persona games is the social dynamic things in the game rather than like the dungeon crawling, like the action part of it?
Definitely. I think anybody that has played and like really likes the Persona games is usually because of the social links. Like that's a big part of it. It not only is it tied to like the storytelling, but it is also how you get stronger in the game. So it's kind of it feeds into the gameplay loop. And the stories are always really, really interesting. Like most of the social links in the games are really compelling. And like half the time when I'm playing it, I'm like, I don't even care about the dungeon part. I just want to know where this is going. Because it's either really weird or sad or happy. There's like layers and layers of storytelling. So it's really good. So Persona for people that like that kind of thing.
Really
and do you think... Sorry, go ahead, Lex.
Oh, so I just mentioned I really want to play those games, but I think I want to find the right time to play it. I got to be in the mood. But they look fantastic. They have amazing reviews and everything.
Yeah, I would highly recommend playing like I don't know what you call them, like the Game of the Year versions of each of them. There's always like a de facto version. Yeah,
Royals.
like Royal or Persona 4 Golden.
Golden, right, yeah.
Because they have like accessibility things in the game that make it less grindy. That's the one thing I didn't like about like the vanilla versions of all the games is that they're really, really long from a grindy perspective. And I didn't like that. But they have like, double XP or something like that. So you can focus more on the social part and the storytelling. So highly recommend.
Opportunity to give triple XP there.
Dang. Why didn't I have that?
I'll let you do a retake.
You're right. So you can like there's accessibility. There's accessibility options where you can turn on like
triple XP
or something.
Yes.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us, Triple XP Arcade. Nice. Do you think that this game would be a nightmare for someone who's introverted, or do you think this is like the ideal way to build that social network connection as an introvert?
Ooh, there's layers on that answer that I don't think I can answer. You know what I mean? Like if I was like if I was being an introverted weeb, I would love Persona. And I do love Persona. So what does that tell you? I don't know. But just saying is all. And I also, just FYI, I didn't include 1 and 2 because those ones are very dated and they're also not that good compared to the 3, 4, 5, the recent ones.
4, 5. Okay. That's good to know. Like I said, same as Lex, I've just always heard great things, but I just didn't know if it was my kind of game, but I also didn't know anything about it. So it's kind of good to know there's like additional context. So I know I have, I think Persona 4 was free on PlayStation, like the PlayStation Plus free game membership or something. So I think I actually own it. So it's
I think that was
easy enough to.
I think that was 5, but unfortunately that's like
right.
not the GOTY version. So yeah, it's grindy. So I played that game for like 40 hours and I don't think I'm close to the end. And I'm like, all right, that's too much. I wish I had the
Triple XP
thing.
Yes. For clarification, it's only double XP though, right?
I actually don't even know what it is. I just know that there's like something.
Okay, good. Persona games. All right, Lex, do you have good solo games in mind?
Yeah, like a lot of my recommendations are more franchise driven. But the first one, and it's a game I'm more recently playing right now, is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's an RPG. It just won Game of the Year at the Game Awards last year. And I got it for Christmas and I started playing it in January. And I can easily see why that game won Game of the Year without question. It's actually hit one of my top 10 games of all time now.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've only seen the title before. I know nothing about this game, and I don't. Well, I mean, you know the kinds of games that I do like playing, Lex. But with it being as good as it was, winning Game of the Year, how would you pitch it to someone who's never heard it in like an elevator pitch? Like, why is it so good?
The story and the music is some of the best I've ever seen in a video game.
Really?
Music I find to be very important in video games, and if I'm being completely honest, there was actually one part in Expedition 33 where I got all choked up just from the music and the story itself. Like I'm literally about to cry, and my wife is just sitting right next to me on the couch as well. And then she said the exact same thing, and she's not even paying attention to the story or the game. It was just the music, the sheer way they orchestrated it was like, holy smokes, this is beautiful music.
Wow, okay.
And it's like, there's only a handful of games that get me to that kind of like emotion. And for this one to hit it, I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
So it's like a very emotionally investing game.
Yeah. And the gameplay itself is not overly complicated. Like, you don't have to do a ton of inventory management. There's no items or anything that you have to pick up. Like, yeah, you'll get different weapons, but you just equip it, then go on about your day. There's like a mechanic about like kind of like strengthening your character itself, but nothing breaks. There's no inventory limits, and it's a turn-based RPG, but it's like, it's very active where you have to actually try and parry attacks of enemies. And when you attack, there's like kind of like a quick time scene where you have to press X at the right time itself. So it's very like interactive when you do the matches, and the enemies like to deke you out. Like, it looks like they'll attack, but then it's like they're stretching their arm for an attack, and they like jab you quickly. So it's a lot of fun for sure.
Oh, I like when they implement that active participation part of turn-based RPGs. Like, the only one that I could really think of was Super Mario RPG, where you have to time like your critical hits and stuff like that, or when you're blocking. It just seems way more fun when you have a turn-based thing to still participate each turn, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. But fantastic game. I plan on playing that on Valentine's Day.
Nice.
not any of the couple of games with your wife.
No, I'm too addicted to it. It's that good. It's that good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Hopefully your wife has her own gaming session set aside and isn't standing there with Split Fiction or It Takes Two being like, oh, I mean,
I just
sure thought that.
Just stuck on the opening screen or something like that.
Yeah.
Because where both players have to press X or start to start the game.
Oh no.
Oh man, too good.
Claire Obscure
Expedition
33?
Yeah. Yeah. The reason why it's called that is because the story itself is you're trying to hunt the paintress, because the paintress every year she paints a number on like this kind of, I don't even know what it is, like a giant rock in the far background, and every year the number gets lower, and basically when the number gets lower to, or the number of what she paints is when people essentially die. So if she paints 34, anyone who's 34 years of age just passes away, and then she'll paint down the next year to 33, and that's how we get to this one, where at 33 anyone who's 33 years old in the next year will die. And it started all the way at like something like 67 or something like that. So the story is like you have to take down the paintress because she's just killing people younger and younger, basically.
Oh wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Right? Yeah. So there's a feel for it. Like you have to take her out or else everyone just passes away.
Yeah.
Like you want to make a family,
crazy.
but you can't because in 20 years your son will pass away, right?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
your parents will go away, right? Yeah. So it's epic.
So like in theory, what happens when the countdown goes down? Does she just arbitrarily pick a new number to start from again?
I don't know, to be honest. I think this is what like it started all the way at like 67 years ago or something, and basically like all the expeditions from 67 to now 34 have all failed. So this kind of like this waning thing, like we have to get rid of her type thing. Yeah.
Nice. I'll have to pick it up when it goes when it releases on Switch 2.
Oh, I hope so. I would play it again on Switch 2.
I think they announced it. I'm pretty sure they did.
Oh, did they? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Cool. Okay.
Well, hopefully they can get those successful expeditions sooner rather than later, because once we start hitting down to that, expedition 15, 16, and we're relying on that generation, might be a bit tougher.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. The tweens.
All right, nice. All right, Gigs, back over to you. What are you thinking for solo games?
If you want to make friends for Valentine's Day, you don't play Dota, but you do play. You play Final Fantasy 14. That's what you play if you want to make friends.
Ooh,
really?
Oh
interesting.
yeah. Of all the MMOs, 14 was easily the most social by like a mile.
In what way?
So the guild chats, or I can't remember what they're called, free companies in Final Fantasy 14. People just actually chat, like normal chat in them more. Sometimes it's a little bit heavy-handed and it can be a little cringe sometimes, but in general, compared to say like WoW nowadays, or like Guild Wars is dead in terms of chat. But like Final Fantasy is, I think it just by its nature, it is more sociable. Like you have to do like dungeons to progress the story, and to do dungeons you have to queue up with other people. So it kind of forces you to play with other people, which is not necessarily a bad thing because the game's not very difficult, but yeah, I think it's just the nature of how it was designed. And then, people that like Final Fantasy or that kind of high fantasy, pretty looking characters type thing, it draws a certain crowd, but everyone's super friendly for the most part. So I think, yeah, of all the MMOs, Final Fantasy 14 is the most social. And if you were the type that wanted to make like online friends, I assume that would be a good spot for you. Yep.
Yeah, well, I actually realized when we played Final Fantasy 14, I thought that this could just be entirely a solo game. I mean, it could be. If you're playing an MMO, you can do it entirely solo. I didn't really do any socialization or guilds or anything like that in that small stint that I was playing. But then we played together, and my wife jumped on too. And then I was like, immediately, I was like, this is way more fun playing with other people. Mm-hmm. Not to say that it wasn't fun playing solo. It's just an entirely different experience, right? Like, you're playing solo, you follow the story, you do your thing, whatever. But then you play with people, and it feels like you're more involved in this larger world, and you're doing things and coordinating things with like a bunch of people around you. And it's just, yeah, I know what you're saying, Gigs. It's like really fun when you play it with other people.
Yeah, and in general, like the hub cities, it's a very social thing where people are in all chat or whatever. Yeah, it just encourages a lot more interaction between people, which is why I think of the MMOs, it's the most social. Like in WoW, you're chatting with your guild or like your clan or whatever they call it. I can't remember. It's been a long time. And in Final Fantasy, it's more like you're just talking to whoever's around.
Yeah.
So it's different in that aspect.
Just be wary for our listeners if you are playing it. If you're doing a dungeon raid or something with a group of people and you pick a particular role, you have to kind of know what you're supposed to be doing.
Okay, so that's actually a good point. I would say of the MMOs, also in general, people are the most chill about sucking in Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah. Because I think in Final Fantasy 14, I've seen more of the people helping each other figure stuff out. If you go in and you're the healer and you have what's the word I'm looking for? You very obviously demonstrated you don't know what you're doing as a healer.
Yes.
I've seen people throw in the chat, be like, okay, this is what you got to do. Make sure you're looking out for these things, blah, blah, blah. But they'll kind of help walk you through to get you set up at that base level. Because there's other games that...
Dota.
Yeah, oh my God. I'm like debating if we need to have an entire different episode about like MOBAs or Dota in general because we've put so much time into it, Gigs. But yeah, Dota immediately, like, you go to character select screen. If you pick someone who is not someone that you should be playing, you get pounced on immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
if you want to see what the worst the world has to offer in video games, you just play Dota.
Jesus.
It's honestly so much worse than like shooters, like FPS games.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know there's like everybody knows the Call of Duty jokes. Oh, your mom, blah 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 blah. But you don't hear vitriol until you pick anti-mage as a support or something. And then everybody, both teams, you have 9 people ganging up on you. It's not fun.
Yeah. Going after your intelligence, going after your personal attacks. And you're like, how? You don't even know me. But they're throwing those attacks in the chat. And you're like,
yeah.
Oh, it's
honestly fun at all.
Yeah. Never again. Maybe someday, but never again for now.
I played Dota a little bit the last few weeks. Well, yeah, we'll pin this for another episode.
Yeah. Sorry. This is supposed to be about Valentine's Day or something.
No, that's okay. I know what you're talking about, Gase. I get sidetracked with Breath of the Wild, so I know Dota does it for you.
Yeah.
All right, Lex. What's another solo mission game that you want to throw out?
Yeah, like I had like the Final Fantasies on there as well, but one of the games I wanted to talk about is actually Ori's, like Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
I've heard you mention that these are really good games. Now, I thought you played these with your wife, though, no?
We did, but we both bought a copy and we both played side by side. Like just side by side TV, side by side gameplay, and it was basically like just our own gameplay itself there. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys didn't like LAN it up or anything?
No, not at all. Because it's a straight up solo adventure game. Like it's a straight up story. There's no co-op or anything in general. The fun part was just we get to play side by side together and see like where some of the secrets are, because it's a Metroidvania game, so you have this entire map to explore. And what was interesting is that we both took entirely different paths in the game. So I started at one point, she started another, or we went like I went left, she went right, basically, and we had different builds throughout the entire game, but we would hit the same main story landmarks, but with different powers and abilities and stuff, which is pretty wild.
Oh. And the gameplay mechanics are pretty tight from what I've seen, right?
Yes. Yeah. Very simple, but it gets complex when you want to have to like try and parry and stuff like that, or like counter. So like it's a beginner to intermediate type of gameplay. I think there's like accessibility options to make the game easier for those who don't want a hard challenge, like a Hollow Knight fan, for example, like Gigs, for example, right? But yeah, there's a lot of like ways you can make the game much more enjoyable rather than just having to die every second minute or so there.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
And is this like because I haven't played it, but is this like a cute game? Or is this like a I don't know, more of like an intense story?
Cute-esque. Yeah, I would say like it's kind of cute. Like there's like owls, or no, the owl's the evil thing. Like
it's
I
not
don't know
like
what Ori is, but it's like he's a spirit, basically.
Okay.
So
it's not like a Japanese horror game passing as cute, right?
No,
like
not
Yomawari,
not at
something
all.
like that. Okay. Just needed to make sure.
Not a debatable one like Monster Train, it sounds like.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Like the art style is very pretty. Like it just looks very, very pretty to watch in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's definitely the perfect way to say it. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Cakes. Hit us with your last solo game that you want to throw out there for our listeners.
All right. So this is the greatest solo game of all time.
All time.
Of all time.
Oh,
in fact, it's so much that's so true that they've released it like 15 times on every kind of console imaginable.
Okay, can't be Star.
We're talking Skyrim.
Oh
no, we're talking Elder Scrolls.
Someday,
Skyrim.
Drew.
Skyrim. This is the greatest solo game of all time, Gigs. You genuinely feel that?
For a solo RPG, yes. For an open world RPG, I think Skyrim's the greatest. Not particularly because the base game is great, but because it has just turned into a toolbox for other people to make great things for the game, so you can make it however you wish. That's why. Okay. So if you're into modding and that kind of stuff, Skyrim is so good. You can tailor the game exactly how you like it. People have like mod lists that are like, there's like 2,000 mods or something. The game turns into like a 300 gigabyte monster, but it's super fun. I can't not gush about modded Skyrim and like the community as much as I am now, because it's so fun.
But do you have to know how to mod the game to enjoy it?
Honestly, nowadays, no, because they've made it really easy to do, and like they've improved the base game immensely from when it was first released, because they've released it again like 15 or 20 times. It's hilarious how many times they've re-released this game. But it's kind of like final version, which I think is called I don't know if it's the anniversary edition or something like that, but they've added like the most popular mods. They've improved UI. They've improved all kinds of things.
Okay.
And the base game itself is like, if you guys have never really played Elder Scrolls games, right? No. Like Oblivion or Skyrim. Okay. So they're like, people love those games because they are very open in what you can do. Like, it is, you start however you want nowadays, but you can download mods with different origins, so you can start the game however you want. And you can kind of just go do stuff. And you can build your character however you want. You can kind of choose to do certain quests however you want. And once you kind of like know the game and its ins and outs, there's lots of different ways that you can mod it to kind of fit what you like. And I like more survival type games where you have to eat and drink and make sure you don't die of the cold.
Okay.
So
do your weapons break?
No. You know, you can actually...
Can I mod it so that they break?
You could. You absolutely could.
For the worst gaming experience of all time, yeah, go for it, Lex.
And yeah, I think Skyrim is... I've put an incredible amount of hours into that game, and I've never beaten it from a story perspective. But I continuously play it in multiple different ways. And yeah.
So
that's why I say
I have more hours in modding and my character design in that game than I have of actual gameplay of that game.
That's what I mean, right? It's just like there's so much. There's too much sometimes. But yeah.
Okay. So for our listeners who might have not caught this in a previous episode, I did not get past the character creation part of Skyrim, the PS3 version. Because it puts you in create your character, and I spent 40 plus minutes in decision paralysis, and I didn't even get to start the game. So would you say that at like now, with all of these mods available and stuff, would that PS3 version be like completely a wash, like not worth exploring? If you're going to get into Skyrim, you should do like a Steam version or like an updated version that can be compatible with mods?
Yeah. Like honestly, so they've changed it to the point where you can mod on consoles now.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's
yeah,
cool.
so you can also blame Skyrim for DLC, because that's basically the advent of terrible microtransactions. But that aside, they have implemented console mods. So there's basically like a store in the game that you can find mods. And yeah, you can mod them on Switch, you can mod them on PS5. But obviously it's the best to do on PC.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Give me an example, like a really quick example of a cool mod that would change the gaming experience, because I've only seen a handful here and there, and for some reason they're always Thomas the Tank Engine.
What?
Or Macho Man skinned over like the dragons.
I haven't seen that one.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
So yeah, what's like an example of a really cool mod that would make someone like me be like, oh geez, like yeah, I really should try this.
So there are mods to change how fighting works. So there are people that have basically turned the kind of janky first-person combat of normal Skyrim and turned it into like Dark Souls combat or like Devil May Cry. You know, those
oh wow, really?
Platinum game where you're just like mashing buttons and a bunch of cool stuff happens.
Yeah,
people have gone crazy with this stuff. Okay. There's entirely new spells. People that have made like entirely new spell trees, and yeah, so it's actually insane what some people have like created in this game. It's wild.
And the developers are just all cool with it. They're just like, yeah, mod as anywhere, everywhere.
Yeah, that's always been Bethesda's thing. Like, they're not going to stop it. They in fact, like, the reason why it's so moddable is that Bethesda usually releases modding tools for their games.
Okay.
So it's par for the course.
Cool.
The crappy thing is, which is where this is kind of not really podcast related. It's just economics is the microtransaction thing. But that aside,
I did really like how Bethesda is really self-aware of how many times they've released Skyrim. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, there was like I think it was during one of the Game Awards where they had announced Skyrim for a new system, and then they just kept going. We're also releasing Skyrim on the Google Minis and Amazon Alexas, and now on your fridge. Like, what?
Yeah.
And that was them. That was straight up Bethesda. I'm like, these guys are awesome. Like they're so aware of like what they're doing.
I think I saw something sometime they launched Skyrim on a smartwatch. Also,
I believe it.
Just anywhere and everywhere. Cool. Okay, yeah, that's. I mean, I always knew that I had to, at some point in my life, get past the character creation, but knowing that it's significantly better now sounds very promising. Take notes, Nintendo. Let me mod Breath of the Wild, and I mean, they're not going to make more money off of me being happy with it, but you'll make one person happy if you allow.
Just make the Master Sword infinite. Yeah. I think that would fix it for you, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna put in a support request in the Nintendo help desk to just be like.
I think you gotta mail it, but like make a drawing of what you want so they think you're a kid.
Oh, smart.
With crayon.
Yeah.
You have to start with Mr. or Mrs. when you start the letter too.
Hi, Mr. Nintendo.
That's the one. Mr. Nintendo.
Why does my Master Sword keep breaking?
Yes. Okay. All right, Lex, why don't you wrap us up with your last thoughts are for solo games today?
I don't think you're going to like how I'm going to wrap it up because...
No.
It starts with a Z and ends with an Elda.
No. Are you going to say Breath of the Wild right now?
I was, but I kind of feel bad ending it. So I'm going to end it with Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth.
Oh.
Andrew, those are very accessible to you now because the more recent updates to it, like because they released the remake on Switch, they updated all the other versions. So there's actually like I think they call it God mode, where you're always infinite health and you always hit 9,999. So you can play it for strictly the story if you wanted to. And there's autosave, so you can't really not save at this point, you know?
This Square Enix, this is a company that knows how to fix previous wrongs. Take note, Nintendo! This is what I'm talking.
Wow, I didn't see that coming. My bad.
Maybe in 25 years. Is that when I last played Final Fantasy VII? Maybe in 25 years, Nintendo will hear the call of this child writing a crayon letter. So remake and rebirth. Those are the two parts, right?
Yeah, those are the two parts right now, and then there's supposed to be a third part coming soon. I don't know when, but it's Final Fantasy VII, like from the good old days, but just completely remastered from ground up, and story's fantastic, gameplay's fantastic, the graphics are wild, the music's great, and for the older fans, like the millennials, Gen X, it really hits that nostalgia train for those who grew up with Final Fantasy.
And entirely different gameplay mechanics. These ones are not turn-based like the OG.
You can choose. Yeah, you can choose to do action, like you kind of mash it out live in the match itself, or you can make it turn-based, so you're just waiting for the turn to pop up, then you put in your input command and it does it for you. So
I didn't realize you could.
Yeah, you can make options. Yeah.
And how do you prefer to play, Alex?
I like the action. It makes it more complex, but I'm not very good at managing other people, a la Mirage.
Because you have to manage
so I
a party.
Yeah. So I just overpower one person in the party, and I continue. And spoiler alert, it's Tifa. Her combos are actually so insane. So she's easily like one of the strongest characters in the game because of the way you can combo like the martial arts and everything.
Is Tifa in the? I don't know if this is a spoiler for people, but is Tifa in the first one or just the second one?
She's in both.
She's in both.
Yeah, she's at the very beginning of the game.
Oh,
like you meet her maybe like 1 hour in or something.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I've played Final Fantasy VII Remake a couple times, like started it a couple times, but for some reason I just like taper off or I delete it to make space for another game that I want to play. PTSD, yeah. And I thought I've played it like a decent amount, but I don't. I realized I was like, no, I only had Cloud and Barret, but that's probably just like the first 15 minutes of the game.
yeah, that's the first mission. Yeah.
Okay. That's literally the first.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay, I've got
like the prologue.
I've got some work to do. All right, folks, that's a wrap for us this week on the Triple XP Arcade. We always love hanging out with you in the party, so please leave a comment below and let us know what your favorite couples or solo game is to play. You got a lot of really good recommendations from this episode, so whether you're enjoying Valentine's Day tomorrow with your partner or if you're going to rock it solo, pick up a game. Get some time to yourself or with your partner and game out and let us know how it goes, whether it's a chaotic disaster like when we first booted up It Takes Two, or if it's completely smooth sailing like when Lex and his wife play not even co-op games side by side, but just enjoy each other's company. That's really cute. And be sure to follow us on socials so you don't miss a drop with new episode releases every single Friday. Until then, game on, stay nerdy, and remember, you always level up faster at the Triple XP Arcade.